Record. Okay. Interview with Stefan Leibing, second part. So we come to the most important part of your career, Primal Fear, the new band of
Mhm,
Ralph Shippers and Matt Sinner.
mhm.
Before talking about it, were you a fan of Gamma Ray, Tyrant Pace, or Sinner?
Yes, when I was I was listening to Sinner in when they I had this Danger Soon album. Which was one of the early albums, I think, and I listened to it very often when I was young, and um, and Gamma Ray. Um, uh, I didn't know Ralph Shepers before. So actually, I know when I was in playing with Dark Haze, the drummer Gio Moulet is his name, and he was listening to the Gamma Ray album. So was always in his car. So we were driving a lot together in the car, and he had this new Gamma Ray album. And I thought, wow, who is this singer? Yeah, he said, oh, this is a German guy, and is here from Stuttgart. And I said, wow, do we have such singers here in Germany? And so this is then and I also then bought the next Gamma Ray album, and I have never thought that 2 years later, I think it might be 2 years later, or maybe or 3 years later, that I will play in the band with him. Yeah, this was great. Yeah.
Okay. Um, for me, Primal Fear had two faces, a very heavy and in-your-face side, and another more experimental with longer tracks and more keyboards and orchestration. Does that seem like a good summary to you?
Yes. I think it's a good summary of the style, and it's the thing is we had this is a consequence of that we were all at this time all writing and giving our influences to the band. Yeah, so everyone in the band was composing, and then before every record we had everyone has the had his song put his songs in the pool where we had choose from when we decided which songs to take on the album. And there were these influences. Like I said, I was often responsible for these harder songs, but I also had often also melodic songs, and so everyone was so also from the other guys, everyone has his style. And I think at this point if you look at the early six Primal Fear albums or so, I only can speak for them. Uh, this variety of songs was a consequence of everyone being involved in the writing process. Yeah.
Hmm? Okay. So you say that in the beginning. You are not on the first album and joined the band in 1998 for the tour.
Hmm?
Was it through the contact of Klaus Sperling? And at this time, were you an official member?
Um, it was. Yes, I have to to thank Klaus for this. For making the contact, And yeah, he was so actually he was in contact with Matt and Tom and so on with our guys, and they yeah, they made this first record and were overwhelmed about the interest of recording companies, of record labels, and so on. And yeah, Klaus made the contact then with me because they said, "Oh, we have to great, we have to opportunity to make a tour." And yeah, Klaus made then the contact, and yeah, I know at this time I was yeah, yeah, this was maybe a half or a year after a comedy club has quit. Maybe it was longer, I don't know, but I really was at this point I was in a mood where I thought, okay, I quit with music, I will not do anything anymore because it makes no sense. And yeah, and then but then they invited me to the yeah, to the yeah, to a recording session to test. So I had to practice some songs, and yeah, and after this recording session, they in the practicing, they said, okay, I can do the tour. And but I remember I at this time I didn't for a very very long time I didn't touch any guitar or didn't do any practice, and I was totally uh, when I played, I felt totally uncomfortable because my fingers were stiff, and I thought, oh God, I will never get this job. I thought I totally fucked it up, but they were satisfied and say I can do the tour. And after the tour, so during the tour, they were yeah. Yeah, they liked it so much that they asked me if I want to be yeah uh, a fixed member of the band. Yeah, also the and be yeah, a fixed part of the band. And I think they were totally surprised about yeah my stage acting or so, because I'm normally so if speak really, I'm yeah, I'm more the yeah, if I don't know the English word, but I'm not not this, I'm a little bit more the shy guy, and on stage I always try to make a great show. So I'm yeah, I'm banging a lot, and I think nobody expected this from the band. Only Klaus knew, and he told me that the guys yeah to him said, hey, Stefan is going crazy on stage, we didn't expect it. And Klaus said, I told you. And so this is what he told me then later. Yeah, this is the thing. So after this um tour, I was a fixed member of the band, and yeah, it was a great time. I remember then after this tour, we had the possibility to yeah to play in Tokyo. Yeah, so the Japanese Japanese recording label, they invited us to play a gig in Tokyo, and I remember we flew to Tokyo to play one gig. So I think at Thursday afternoon we went into the plane, flew to Tokyo, had a day to 4 hours. Then we play the next day to get out of jet lag a little bit. Then we played yeah, a huge concert in Tokyo, and it was totally crazy. And then yeah, we had I think another 3 day in Tokyo, and then we flew back. So we flew over the weekend to Tokyo to play a gig, and back. For me it was totally crazy, and I thought, oh, what is this? yeah, being going for one gig to Tokyo. And we had a lot of great concerts at that time, flowing to South America and for to South America for 2 gigs, one in Rio de Janeiro, and then the day after this in Sao Paulo. Yeah. Also over the weekend. Yeah, crazy.
Okay. On this tour, Primal Fear plays on a Wacken festival. Your first very big show, I guess. How did you leave it?
What do you mean? How I've felt, or how was the experience to play there, or what do you mean? Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a dream. It was a dream to play on such a festival, and we always when I played with Primal Fear 3 times in Wacken, and we never played on small stages. We always had 2 times we played on one of the big stages, and one time we played very late, but also on a big stage that is also can also be viewed from the main area. And so it's and this first thing, of course, it was a dream. I never played in front of such a huge crowd, and this was I thought this was what I always dreamed of when I was a young boy. And so finally, so if you dream of something, you think, okay, you cannot really expect that it happens, that you reach it. But finally, then when we play on such a thing, on such a big stage, in front of such a huge crowd, then you say, wow, I didn't expect this. Of course, Wacken was not so big as it is today. So I think when we played or so, this was the time when Wacken had 18 or 20,000 people of audience. So today it's 75,000 or more. I don't know exactly. It's but it was anyway. It was huge.
Okay. First album with you, Jaws of Death, was in 1999. Was the name a reference to Jawbreaker of Judas Priest?
I didn't understand exactly what do you mean of it.
Uh,
Okay, if the title "Jaws of Death" is
yes, yes.
um, could be, yes, but then for this you have to ask Matt. I think he was the one who came up with a title. Actually, I do not know exactly who came with the title, but I think it must have been Matt or so. For me, it was not very clear. So we didn't talk about the title of the album. This was decided. This was decided by maybe Matt or Ralph or so, something like this.
Okay. So this is the first professional album you released. Do you remember your feelings when Jawbreaker came out?
You mean Jaws of Death?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was very, very proud, and I was, of course, thinking, yeah, what will the people think of this album? Of course, you are, yeah, every time you release an album, you are very, very, yeah, you hope that the resonances will be positive, and but I wasn't afraid that nobody will doesn't like it, because I knew what can happen with when Ralph's singing, and I knew that the songs were great, and yeah, I was the main feeling was that I was proud to be on this album.
Okay. So Matt Sinner seems to be the leader of the band, but it seems Primal Fear work as a team for the composition and the lyrics. What was your involvement in the writing and possible other aspects? Accent, pas de
Yeah,
cochon.
so we had um,
Hey, Doug.
yeah, I also have a dog. I like dogs. Um, and yeah, we so when it was yeah, when we started to with the composing for our album, we did it really. Let's say I don't know. We it was often this way. Yeah, Matt said, okay, we have to do a new album. So we will be in the studio in 6 months to do the recordings. So we have to compose and we will select the songs in 4 months. And then this was always then where I said, oh holy shit! It was when I started getting busy with writing songs, because I always wanted to have of course songs on the album that where I can find myself. Yeah, so it was not so that we. So Primal Fear was not so at that time not a band where we composed really together in of course it also happened on some songs, but it was very often that everyone was sitting at home and programming drums and recording and yeah, doing the best he can to deliver good songs that will be chosen at the end. And for me, because I'm not a good singer, so I always did contacted Ralph with a finished song, and then I got there with my lyrics, and then I sang Ralph what I think the melody should be, and I recorded with him within the songs together. And yeah, and then we put everything. So when this writing phase was over, then we put everything. So we had a meeting, and then we played our songs, and then we chose. We said, okay, we can have 11 songs on the album, and then we chose which are the 11 best of the albums, the yeah the best songs. And I was with every record, I had yeah about 3 songs on every album that are what I um yeah that I wrote. But we did it this way, that we all shared everything. So we shared all the songs. So we wrote on every song that we have written equal parts on every song. So we didn't mention who wrote which song. So but yeah, we divided it by 5, which was very fair. And we also wrote that all songs on the album are written by us 5. And but actually, I had 3 songs on every album.
Okay. 10,001, third album of Primal Fear Nuclear Fire with the masterpiece Angel in Black. Do you remember how this song is born?
Um, yeah, this was a song where Matt came up with, and he also recorded it and as a demo. And but yeah, he was not satisfied with his guitar parts, and he said, okay, yeah, he needs someone to rework it guitar wise. And then I took it and I said, okay, let me try to do the guitar arrangement of this song. and then yeah, I had this riff in mind, and yeah, then I did the whole guitar arrangement on this demo, and everyone liked it. And yeah, and finally, this is the story how the song was born. Then yeah.
Hmm? Okay. Any Volter, former Thunderhead guitarist, replaces Tom Noman. Can you explain this change in the lineup? And a Thunderhead reunion seems to be possible soon. Do you have an opinion on this subject? Ah,
Tom and Henny.
ah, it's a bug. I can hear you. I can't hear you.
Are we again over fifth?
Okay, you have heard the question? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but I already talked about. Did you so you asked you asked me about how to switch between Tom and Henny
Yes.
worked, and I talked already half a minute. Didn't you get? Have
Ah,
you?
okay.
Was it?
Uh, and the second part of the question was Thunderhead reunion seems to be possible soon. Do you have an opinion on this subject?
Um, Thunderhead is a great band, and I also listened to Thunderhead just before I knew Henny, yeah, and I thought, wow, great band. And yeah, uh, the thing is, a Thunderhead reunion, I would love it. The thing is, if it happens, it depends which will be the singer. But because I think yeah, no, it will not happen with Ted Bullitt as a
Mhm.
singer. There will be then a different singer. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there are any plans to do a reunion of Thunderhead. Um, I just knew that they have remixed an album of so the former drummer of um, Thunderhead has a studio, and he also recorded the last Nitro Gods album, which I have made a live album in 2019, mixed it, and so he made the album, and in this time they also decided, okay, we were not satisfied with the sound of this first Thunderhead album, of this one they have remixed. I think it wasn't the first, I don't know exactly, but one of the albums, and then they remixed it. Actually, I
You
do not
talk
know
about
if they
Busted
have really
at the border.
plans.
You talk about Busted at the border, I think.
uh, you mean the album from Thunderhead?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I can't tell you that the title at the moment, which they remix, but if
Ah, merde.
this album, but I remember some weeks ago he said is standing. So
Okay, the connection bug just now. You see me? You hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Let's continue. Okay. Um, so usually, Primal Fear could remind the Judas Priest, but the powerful song Nuclear Fire is in the style of the ancient Gamma Ray, I think. Do you agree with me? And was it a deliberate choice?
Could you repeat, please? I didn't get it
Um,
right.
the album Nuclear Fire, usually Primal Fear could remind Judas Priest, but the
Mhm.
powerful song Nuclear Fire is in the style of the ancient Gamma Ray. Do you agree with me? And was it a deliberated choice?
Yeah, you might be right that the song "Nuclear Fire" is a little bit in this style of Gamma Ray, because actually this is a song which uh, Ralph came up. So this is one of his songs. He had it's a very successful song. To be honest, I didn't like it so much in the beginning because thought la 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 la. I thought, oh no, but this was my opinion that but yeah so if you look at the success of this song, then Ralph was right bringing it up. And yeah, you might right, if you hear a little bit of gamma ray out of it, then yeah yeah, then you might be correct with this. Yeah. And yeah, it's a great song, and I think they play it still on every gig.
Hmm? Okay. 2002, the album Black Sun. If my memory is good, at that time, a war of words began between Matt Sinner and Synergy singer Kimberly Goss about the 1999 tour. Is this impacted Primal Fear during promotion? And how did this war end?
You, you speak about a war between Matt and the Synergy singer, or what?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I didn't recognize this as at a war. Maybe there was a little bit, yeah, uh, yeah. We have been on tour with them, and with and yeah, she wasn't. I think we were very, so they were play one of the bands playing in front of us. I don't. I think we were. This was a tour with 3 or 4 bands. I don't know exactly. And usually uh, when you are a support band, yeah, then there, yeah, you have to have some yeah to some rules that you have to follow. Yeah, so of course you do not have so much space on yeah on the stage, because you have to build your equipment in front of the equipment of the main band. And if you if there is, let's say, yeah, we had one thing, we had a stage where there was a I don't know how to say it in English, but you could walk. There was a part of the stage going into the audience. You could go a little bit in the audience and stand in between the audience. Yeah, and we said to the band, please don't go on this part of the stage, because this is the thing. the headliner may do, yeah. And so and every band accepts these things, yeah. And so, and she was complaining about this, and she was complaining even even on the concert, yeah. They said to the fans, "Oh, I would love so much to come to you on this stage, but the band Primal Fear doesn't allow me to do this." And what the fuck? and, and this is, so we really treated our bands very the bands they were supporting us very fair, yeah. And you can talk to every band we have played with them of, but you cannot if you are a support band, then you are a support band, and you get not all the lights that the main band act gets. Maybe you may not be as loud as the main band as but this is how it works. Everyone is if a support band is a support band is a support band, and you have to have some, you have to yeah, follow some rules. And if you yeah, and if you yeah, and this thing with the synergy thing, she didn't accept this, except beside this she yeah, wanted to start a quarrel with Matt. But I didn't, I wouldn't say it's a war that happened. So and I actually was really wondering that you brought up this thing, because I already forgot this.
Hmm?
Yeah, but
Okay.
this was the story behind it.
Okay. um, it was also during this period that Ralph Shippers decided to shave his hair. Do you remember how he lived it?
Um, yeah, one day yeah, we he decided to do this, and we were very anxious. And he also said that he will do this, and it's we were very afraid of this. um, and yeah, but finally it looks good, and nobody is yeah, it's nobody is thinking about this anymore. And yeah, the reason why do you cut your hair? It's had sometimes you know, we men sometimes have some problems where it's better to shave off your hair, because it doesn't. Yeah, you. I think I have to talk about it. It's yeah, it had some reason, because it yeah, it was better from the yeah, for
Maybe he wanted to look to Rob Alford.
no, no, not this. It wasn't that they was wanted to look like Rob Halford. It had some reasons that it didn't look good anymore with the long hair.
Okay. Black Sun is followed by the DVD The History of Fear. This DVD contains many documents. I think it was a long archival work. Were you involved in the selection?
Um, so you mean in the selection of the video material, the material that is added to the DVD?
Yes.
Um, yeah, what means in the selection of the the thing is, first you have to collect what you have, yeah, and this was a time when you really, yeah, it's not like today that you have smartphones where you can easily film gigabytes of data and so, and there simply was not so much not so much film material we had that we that it was really very hard to choose what we take and what we leave out. When we were in the studio, of course, yeah, then we decided, okay, let's make a film of this, let's make a film of this. Then there was a thing where they filmed me when I make guitar solo and so on. And of course, we have to to yeah, we also had film material we got from some live recordings. Our mixing guy did during the concerts. I think there is a lot of stuffs where we played in Brazil or where else, and he often had some camera running when we played live, and we took some of this stuff. Mainly, I think the main work in picking the material was done by Matt.
Okay. We arrived at the end of this second session. We make a little cut and send you a new links.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
See you.